Hello, everyone. Today, we'd be discussing the issues and debates that are relevant to the study that was conducted by Fagen et al. In 2014. Now, before we get started, let me remind you all that there are 5 different issues and debates that are part of a syllabus that you all need to know, understand, and also practice how to apply them to a particular study. To begin with, the first issue that we have over here is about the application of psychology to everyday life, or in other words, the usefulness of a particular study, how useful a study is in everyday life. Number two, the individual versus situational explanation. The idea that to what extent does an individual's personality affect his or her behavior, or to what extent does the environment or the experience of an individual affect his or her behavior? Number three, we'd speak about the nature versus nurture debate. To what extent, again, nature should be held responsible, or biology should be held responsible behind an individual behaving in a particular manner. And the nurture side of the debate, my dear, has to do with the experiences that an individual has, and based on those experiences, how an individual reacts. Taking this ahead, the use of children, the fourth issue that needs to be catered to, which is not, of course, applicable to this study because this study does not have any children. This study has animals. So the fifth issue over here is the usage of animals for a particular study. Now, when we start off with the first application, the first issue and debate, that is application of psychology to everyday life. Remember, there were secondary positive reinforcement techniques that were used. This, my dear, is a very useful technique because if you're using this technique, you do not really have to engage, or you do not really have to use sedators, or you do not really have to use anesthesia for a particular test to be conducted on animals. You could encourage participants, in this case animals, to voluntarily participate in health related behaviors. So, the application of psychology to everyday life, or the usefulness of the study through the usage of secondary positive reinforcement techniques, or the training that these animals went through, they could be very useful tool in the captive management of other species as well, especially through voluntary participation in health related behaviors. Examples could include disease testing in primates and other mammals. So the animal provides a sample voluntarily rather than the researchers having to sedate them, or to use anesthesia, or to use any sort of aversive stimuli or any sort of punishment. One, this of course caters to the welfare of the elephants, in this case being specific, or animals in general. Number two, when we speak about the second debate, that is individual versus situational explanation. Individual explanation, or the extent to which an individual's behavior can be explained through his or her personality. Number two, the situational explanation has to do with the environment, the surroundings of an individual. To what extent does an individual behave the way he or she or it does because of its surroundings? Now, both sides of the argument can be seen in this study. There were individual differences. Let's exemplify this in the performance and training times seen in the elephants. Elephant 2 appeared to be faster at passing tasks once trained, while elephant 5 never completed the final trunk wash. And if elephant 5, that is the adult elephant. Now, yeah, elephant 5 never completed the final trunk wash. In terms of situation, the process of engaging in SPR, if we move on towards the situational context here, I'll highlight this with a different color so that you all understand the difference. The process of engaging in SPR training allowed 4 of the elephants to successfully complete a voluntary full trunk wash. If this situation had never happened to them, then they would not have been able to achieve this without rewards or encouragement. So this is an example of individual differences. This is an example of situational differences. It was, of course, through the situation. It was, of course, through the a situation that the researchers had created, which led to these 5 animals being trained. Yes, the training was successful for 4 of them and not the fifth adult elephant. Nonetheless, it was through the situation. So both sides of the argument could be used over here. And this particular point could be a question, a possible 4-mark question in your CIs. It could be a part of an 8-mark question as well. Taking this ahead, The nature versus nurture argument, the nature side of the debate, or the idea that biology should be held responsible to explain individuals' behavior. The nurture side of the argument, the idea that the instead of biology, the experiences that an individual has or the learning that individual goes through, right? So this study, because this is a part of the learning approach, the nurture side is supported here, as the elephants were engaging in SPR protocols that help to develop and sustain learned behavior. The techniques of, you could further exemplify this through this part, the techniques of luring, capturing, and giving primary reinforcers are all about learning new behaviors over time. So the nurture side of the argument is supported over here. This you've explained it, this you've further given an example. Taking this ahead, moving on to the next issue, that is the use of animals. This particular point, my dear, would not be applicable over here because this study is on animals and not young human children. Now, the animal conditions, sorry, the usage of animal in a particular research. A few points that we've discussed numerous times earlier as well. The husbandry conditions were not altered for this study, so this is a good thing. The elephants were able to graze in the jungle with their meow from about 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. and then from 10:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. This again is you catering to the welfare of the animal, not letting your research procedure or not letting your research affect the day-to-day activities or the uh, the general, what do you call it, the general routine of these animals, right? The next one, for the remainder of the day and during the night, each elephant was leg chained at posts in an open stall. They were usually placed on both legs. However, the chain was between 6 feet and 8 feet long and was 6 to 8 feet long and was slack enough to allow easy movements around the post. So this part again works in favor of the researcher, right? So this is a good thing, you were allowing enough of movement. The next one, the elephant's diet was mainly fresh grass and dana, a mixture of grain, nutritional supplements, and grass again. So this is again a good thing. No aversive stimuli was used, no punishment was used, no the animal or the elephants over here, they were not deprived of anything. The last one, the elephants had access to water only when they were grazing. So this could possibly be used as a disadvantage. Yes, the animals did have access to water, but this was only restricted to when they went out for grazing, not while they were indoors when they were being tested. Now, these issues and debates, to remind you all, there are 5 different issues and debates that are part of your syllabus. Number one, the application of psychology to everyday life. Number two, individual versus situational explanations. Number three, the nature versus nurture debate. Number four, the usage of children in a psychological research. Number five, the usage of animals. I hope this has helped. Thank you very much.